Welcome, everyone. I am thrilled to have you here. Today, we are focusing on one of the most foundational security features within Microsoft 365, Single Sign-On, or SSO. In a modern workplace filled with countless cloud applications, SSO is the ultimate bridge between robust security and seamless user productivity. Let's get started. Before we can dive into Single Sign-On, we must first understand the foundation it rests upon: identity. In the past, we relied on corporate network firewalls to protect our data. Today, your users are working from coffee shops, home offices, and airports. The network perimeter has disappeared. Identity is the new security perimeter. In Microsoft 365, this identity foundation is powered by Microsoft Entra ID. Entra ID is a comprehensive identity and access management solution that acts as the absolute central authority for your organization. It verifies who a user is, what device they are using, and what resources they are allowed to access. By centralizing all our user identities into this single, highly secure cloud directory, we lay the necessary groundwork to simplify access and enforce strict security policies across our entire digital estate. Look at this flowchart to see the modern access architecture. On the top, we have our modern worker accessing data from anywhere. Instead of connecting directly to individual applications, all roads lead to the central node, Microsoft Entra ID. Notice how Entra ID acts as the universal gateway. Once it authenticates the user, it brokers secure access out to Microsoft 365 services like Exchange and SharePoint, to external SaaS apps like Salesforce, and even back to your legacy on-premises apps. Entra ID is the engine that makes centralized security possible. Now, let's define Single Sign-On, or SSO. Simply put, SSO is a capability that allows an employee to log in to Microsoft Entra ID once, using one single set of credentials, and then seamlessly access dozens or hundreds of other independent applications without ever typing a password again. Why is this so crucial? Think about the modern employee. They might use Outlook for email, a third-party CRM for sales, and another app for HR. If they have to remember 15 different complex passwords, they will suffer from password fatigue. They'll start writing passwords on sticky notes, or worse, they'll reuse the same weak password everywhere. SSO eliminates this. By logging in once, the system securely verifies their identity and grants them access everywhere they are authorized. Not only does this make the user happier, but it drastically shrinks your attack surface against phishing. This visual perfectly captures the elegance of SSO. On the left, the user performs a single action. They log in to Microsoft Entra ID one time. From there, Entra ID takes over the heavy lifting. Look at the arrows flowing out to App 1, App 2, and App 3. Instead of sending the user's password to these apps, Entra ID sends a secure auto-auth token. The applications trust Microsoft Entra ID, accept the token, and let the user write in. The user experiences a frictionless transition between completely different software platforms. To truly master SSO, you must understand the underlying mechanics. SSO works by establishing a strict cryptographic trust relationship between two parties, the identity provider, or IDP, and the service provider, or SP. In our Microsoft 365 environment, Microsoft Entra ID acts as the IDP. The application the user wants to access is the SP. Why is this separation so important? Because it means the service provider never, ever sees the user's password. When a user tries to access a cloud HR tool, the HR tool redirects them to Entra ID. The user enters their password securely in Microsoft's portal. Entra ID then generates a cryptographically signed token using protocols like SML 2.0 or OpenID Connect. It passes this token back to the HR tool. The HR tool verifies the digital signature, says Microsoft trusts this person, so I do too, and grants access. Let's walk through the token exchange sequence step by step. The user attempts to access the service provider app, step 1. The app doesn't ask for a password. Instead, it redirects the user to Entra ID, step 2. The user securely authenticates with Entra ID, often utilizing multi-factor authentication, step 3. Entra ID then issues a cryptographically signed token back to the user's browser, step 4, which is instantly presented to the app, step 5. The app validates the signature to ensure it hasn't been forged, step 6, and finally, grants the user access, step 7. The entire process happens in milliseconds. Let's look at the benefits of SSO from the perspective of your end users. The user experience is often the most visible metric of IT success. SSO provides a massive boost to daily productivity. Your employees no longer have to manage spreadsheets of passwords, and they don't have to stop their workflow to log in every time they open a new tool. Reducing this friction recovers hundreds of hours of lost time across the enterprise. How do we achieve this seamlessly? On modern, Intune-managed corporate devices, Microsoft utilizes what is called a primary refresh token, or PRT. Here is the deep dive. When a user unlocks their Windows laptop in the morning using Windows Hello, the system issues a PRT. When they open their web browser and navigate to a Microsoft 365 service or a connected third-party app, that PRT silently authenticates them in the background. They experience zero login prompts. This diagram highlights the frictionless user journey created by seamless SSO. It starts at the top when the user unlocks their Windows device. This action generates the primary refresh token, moving them into a state of silent authentication. From this powerful state, they can launch Microsoft Teams, open a SharePoint document, or click into a third-party SaaS app. They bypass the login screens entirely, funneling directly into the final goal at the bottom, seamless productivity. It transforms the cloud into a natural extension of their local desktop. While users love SSO for the convenience, IT and security teams love it for the control. SSO consolidates all application access into a single pane of glass. Think about the operational efficiency. One of the largest drains on a help desk is resetting forgotten passwords for random third-party apps. With SSO, that burden disappears entirely. But the most critical benefit is security during employee offboarding. Without SSO, when an employee leaves, IT has to manually log into 20 different systems to revoke their access, risking data leakage if one app is missed. With SSO, you disable the user's account in Microsoft Entra ID once. Instantly, their token is invalidated, and their access to all connected applications is severed globally. Diving deeper, because all sign-ins are funneled through Entra ID, you get centralized audit logging. You can track access across your entire digital estate from one console, making threat detection and compliance reporting significantly easier. Let's look at the critical offboarding process. At the top, the IT administrator takes a single action, disabling the user's account in Microsoft Entra ID. Instantly, the system revokes the authentication tokens. Follow the dashed lines. This single action simultaneously blocks access to Microsoft 365, internal HR apps, and external cloud storage. By severing the trust at the identity provider level, all downstream access is halted, leading to our final, highly secure state: zero data exfiltration. Total control with minimal administrative effort. SSO is not just a convenience feature, it is a foundational pillar of the Zero Trust security model. Remember the Zero Trust principles: verify explicitly, use least privilege, and assume breach. By forcing all application logins through the centralized SSO pipeline, we create a secure choke point. This is where we apply Microsoft Entra conditional access. SSO by itself just makes logging in easier, but combining it with conditional access makes logging in smart and secure. Here is how it works. During the split-second SSO handshake, Entra ID evaluates real-time signals. It asks, is this device compliant? Is the user logging in from a known location? Is there any sign-in risk? If everything looks safe, SSO proceeds seamlessly. But if the system detects an anomaly like a login from an unfamiliar country, conditional access interrupts the SSO flow and demands multi-factor authentication, or blocks access entirely. SSO ensures these vital security checks are never bypassed. This flowchart demonstrates the intelligence of the conditional access engine sitting inside the SSO flow. The user request comes in on the left. The engine acts as the brain, evaluating the context of the request. If the signals show a safe device and location, it takes the top path, SSO is granted silently, and the user reaches the application. However, if it detects a risky sign-in, perhaps leaked credentials or impossible travel, it routes to the bottom path, intercepting the request to demand MFA or block it entirely. This guarantees that convenience never compromises security. So, how do we actually bring non-Microsoft applications into this ecosystem? This is done through enterprise applications or app registrations in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center. As a senior admin, your job is to extend Microsoft 365's powerful security umbrella over every third-party tool your company buys. When marketing buys a new cloud tool, you configure it here using standard protocols like SML. You exchange security certificates between Entra ID and the app to establish that cryptographic trust we discussed earlier. You also restrict which specific user groups are allowed to use the app. But a crucial deep dive for security professionals is managing user consent. Sometimes, apps ask users for permission to read their calendar or email data via the Microsoft Graph API. You must configure strict consent policies so users cannot accidentally grant a malicious third-party app access to your corporate data. You must maintain control over what these apps can do. Let's look at the IT configuration workflow. We start in the Entra Admin Center and navigate to Enterprise Applications. When we bring a new app online, we hit the Configure App phase, which splits into 3 mandatory technical tasks. First, we set up the SML or OIDC trust, exchanging certificates. Second, we assign specific user groups, adhering to least privilege. Third, we manage admin consent, ensuring the app isn't over-permissioned to read sensitive graph data. Only when all 3 of these pillars are securely configured does the app transition to the final state, app ready for secure SSO. Let's tie everything together with a critical, real-world use case. Your organization just purchased a new, third-party cloud HR management system. This system holds highly sensitive data salaries, social security numbers, medical info. Employees need easy access to check their pay stubs, but security must be absolute. We solve this using SSO. Step 1. You, the admin, register the HR app as an enterprise application in Entra ID, establishing the SAML SSO connection. Step 2. Because the data is so sensitive, you don't just allow silent SSO. You create a conditional access policy targeting only this HR app, mandating that multi-factor authentication is required every single time someone accesses it, regardless of their location. Step 3. You assign the All Employees group. The outcome is perfect. Employees don't have to create or remember a new password for the HR system. They log in with their standard Microsoft 365 credentials, but you have mathematically guaranteed that the sensitive data is protected by MFA. You've delivered maximum convenience and maximum security. Our final diagram visualizes this real-world deployment. The organization acquires the new third-party HR system. The admin configures the SAML SSO integration in Entra ID. Crucially, the admin then applies a targeted conditional access policy that strictly requires MFA for this specific app. When an employee attempts to access the HR system, they seamlessly pass through SSO but hit the required MFA challenge. If they succeed, they are securely granted access using their existing M365 credentials. If they fail, access is blocked. The business gets a smooth user experience, and IT secures the perimeter perfectly. Thank you for attending this session.
To find related ebook and other material for this training course, go to quicktechie.com. Now you will see all the video courses are available here. So let's move to the ebooks. You can go here, ebooks, all AI related ebooks like you are watching currently Mythos related training. That ebook would be uploaded under this section. You can download this ebook. PDF would be available, all 300-page PDF. So you just click on the download this entire ebook. You can download from this section. So whatever training you are currently listening, corresponding ebook would be available. We have thousands of ebooks available. Now, other than that, we have on video courses which you are watching right now. This also all AI related courses are available. Similarly, for all company related trainings are available like Microsoft. You can find it here with their respective certification training modules. All exam simulators which would help you to get the certification preparation. Just refresh if you get this kind of error. Okay, so now you can see these are all certification preparation materials. Will also be click here to the NVIDIA certification preparation material. So you can see all NVIDIA certification preparation materials, and click on any of this and it would load the entire screen and you can launch the practice paper. So this is what you can see, that you can submit the answer. We have an audiobooks available. Okay, so for each section, and these are our alumni who can you can find out all alumni who are accessing our portal.